Retro Rob plays everything.
Hey there, real gamers and gatekeepers, Retro Rob here, and today we're going to cover a game system that I actually have already talked about on this channel about 4 years ago, but I thought it deserved another swing, and that is the FC-88. This was done at a time when my station probably had about 200 subscribers tops, and it did pretty well as far as the standards of the station at that time. I never thought this thing would still be here at this point, because I thought it was kind of cheap.
It is.
And I thought it was kind of busty.
Ditto.
But it still gets used because it's the only handheld that I have that runs actual game cartridges. I'm not talking about like the real ones, but it's the only knockoff machine that I have that runs real game cartridges. So we're going to take a look at it 4 years later, see how it's held up. I'm going to tell you ahead, it's held up better than I thought. But we're going to give it the full treatment along with the front of the box. FC Mobile 88 and not much else. It just says that it has 88 games built in. They are built into the device, not in a cartridge like it shows here.
False advertising.
The right side of the box is kind of boring. The left side of the box is not winning any awards either. The bottom of the box. I do kind of like this effect right here. It has that kind of fading of the games off into the distance. Not bad. Since the bottom of the box did so well, they figured why not do the same thing on the top of the box. So they did. The back of the box lists all the games that are on the system, which is pretty cool. You're not going to recognize the names though, because they're all hacks of original Famicom games or games that were made way later as kind of like one-offs. There was a company, I guess, that was just generating a whole bunch of cheap Famicom games, and I think some of those are in here too. Let's open the box. This box, of course, has been pre-opened. I'll probably link to the original video where I originally opened it and took a look at it. But, of course, you know, I've been using this for years. Anyway, ooh. Okay, one thing that I didn't notice probably the first time is that these are, like, the cheapest model of AV out cables ever. They're those like paper thin ones. Huh, I'm surprised they've held up because I actually use this set with this device all the time. As far as the cable itself goes, it's pretty good. It's got reinforcement here. It's got no reinforcement here though. Oh well, this usually holds it in well enough. There's not a lot of flex here, so I doubt this really helps all that much, but not terrible, but really not a great cable. I can still smell after all these years. I think one of the first things that I commented was the plastic burning smell of this device, and it's still fresh burning smell to this day, and I kind of wish that new cars would stay that way, you know? Alright, gonna have to zoom back the camera. Here's the manual for the FC Mobile 88. It's in black and white. I think there is English here. Yeah, there's a little bit of English in here. But hey, this is more manual than you get out of a modern game for the Switch. So be impressed with that. There's also this little, I think there's a registration card in here or something. Maybe not. No, just a list of... Wow, this lists what games are in here and a little bit about them. Look at that. I can't read it, but it's there. I don't think I mentioned this on the first video either. Pretty cool. I was surprised that it was in there. A little bit about putting cartridges in. Again, can't read it, nothing on the back. So none of it is in English. If anybody can translate that, let me know down below and give me a translation for that. Kind of curious. All right. Let's look at the device itself. I cannot believe how long this thing has lasted. I think it's yellowing a little bit. I do actually play this thing, so I guess it's possible it started aging. It doesn't look Well, maybe it does. No, there's definitely a little bit of yellowing going on here. Anyway, it has a split D-pad, which when I originally did this, I hated the split D-pad. But you know what? Next to having D-pad collapse, which is what happens when you press like in one direction and press the other direction, the D-pad just locks, stopping your character from moving until you lift off the D-pad. This is an okay solution. So I'm not going to be as hard on this. Over time, this has grown on me because I'd rather have it than a locking D-pad. You got your A, B, X, Y. These, of course, are A, B, and then there's 2 turbo buttons for it. Looking at the front, I think this is just a headphone out on this. I think the AV is on the top. There's a volume control, like it, because it's one of those dials, off and on. Right side of the device. Let's go on to the top. Dang, this thing's kind of falling. Huh. Anyway, top of the device, spot for power supply. It says it's a 6 volt. And then here's where you put the cartridges in. And then here is the AV out. Looking on the right side, there's a spot for a lanyard. Surprised I never put one in here. And on the back is the model number. Yeah, there's definitely some yellowing going on here. Space for 4, I think it's AAA batteries. I'll double check that, but as I recall, this thing takes AAA batteries, which I find slightly annoying. I mean, it's not terrible. It could be a rarer battery like those weird ones that some of the Pandora's boxes use. So, not so bad. All right, let's pop a game in it, turn it on. Yep, it's AAA batteries. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, batteries like to shoot out of this thing like crazy. See? Got it.
Thumbs up, comment and subscribe or I will go Skynet on your butt.
Alright, now plugged in. This has a really great battery warning system. Basically what it does is starts freaking out and not playing games well. So yeah, that's how that works. No warning light or anything. There's an on-off light though right there. But I've never noticed it actually do anything when it goes low except just freaking out. And we're just going to flip through here. And there are your 88 built-in games. And let's just try a couple of them. Alright, here is Fairy, and it's the first time I am ever playing this on this station. Side-scrolling shoot-'em-up type of game. Kind of like Defender a little bit. Except I can't go backwards. I mean, I can go back, but I can't change direction, so it's just kind of a scrolling type of game. Oh, I hate those things. Oh, it turns around and fires at me. So far, I've had them drop stuff, and it's kind of hard to pick it up. So I can't tell whether... Come on. Can't tell whether you get pick-em-ups that do anything. Pick-em-ups. That's like... Will they shoot them up? Oh yeah, they do. Good. It's not like those pickups do a whole lot, but it does a little bit of something. Not bad. Pick 'em ups. This is River Jump. Is that Elmo? So basically I've got to jump on the right shape, which apparently takes forever. Come on. Oh, this sound is awful. I can't jump. Jump! Oh, there he goes. Great. That's amazing. What the heck? Atari users, do you recognize this theme song? I'm not kidding. This game uses the theme to Pitfall 2. That's crazy cool. Just had to show you that. Alright, before we go on to playing anything on the big screen, I do want to show you, of course, that regular Famicom cartridges do run on here. You can also run multi-carts. I'm going to note that some of them tend to get kind of stuck in the device. Not legit carts, but like the knockoffs and multi-carts, they do tend to get stuck in this device, so be forewarned. They're hard to get out once you put them in. So I really recommend just playing the real thing on here. But you know, if you want to get your own multi-cart, that's fine. They're cheap. I understand. Let's just get into Parodius here, which is just a great shooter. It's basically Gradius, but still a really fun game. Oh, I cannot believe I died! Get the heck out of here! Ugh. There we go. And I'll just wait for these to bounce by. Clearly I'm not up to decent gameplay levels today. Nope. Get out of here. I have a version of Parodius for most systems that I own. I was expecting him to burn that. Really great game. Anyway, let's go on to testing the video out. Alright folks, let's get trying some games now. And the cable must be bad. Hold on a second. There we go. Well, we'll try the other video capture system. It wasn't the cable. What the heck? Alright, so sadly the video recording system wasn't working for this device, so I'm just going to plug it. Alright, maybe it needs batteries. No. No.
This segment removed due to foul language.
Well, recording didn't work as I would have liked. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, the video output on this is a little bit too weak for it to be picked up by my recording equipment. I've had that problem with this in the past. In fact, I only have one piece of recording equipment that would work with it. And as I recall, there was only like one of my TVs, and I've got quite a few of them, would actually work with this device. So it's something to keep in note if you ever want to buy it. It's always been like that, but I have no idea where I put the adapter that I used to originally record this. So that's kind of out of there. That said, as you can see, it can still run a pretty mean game of F1 race. Ooh, careful there, buddy. We'll just do this race here. And then we'll try one more game. Oops. I looked away. We'll try one more game before signing off. Here we go. That said, at least the game plays just great. And I think the output on the screen looks really good. Whoa. You'd think after years of playing this that I would do every one of these perfectly, but no, still don't. If you want to do something really silly, you can use a Famicom to NES adapter on this thing. And it does indeed work. Look at that. How crazy is that? Here we have Gun Knack, which is a game I found on a multi-cart a long time ago and decided to go out and find. Really neat little game. And it starts out really basic, but steps itself into awesomeness pretty quick. As you can see, we just got kind of basic stuff, but there's constant pickups, which are changing the flow of the game in here. Ooh. There we go. I was kind of surprised to find that there was a lot of people who really loved this game, and this one had a pretty serious cult following. Had no idea. But really fun stuff. We'll just keep going for a little while. I do notice that the sound is a little bit kind of distorted on this thing, and that's probably because of the really small, tiny speaker it has. See how it's just, we'll actually hear how it's just kind of fuzzy sounding. But the screen looks really great. I think it's got a really nice looking screen. Keep going. Ooh, careful there. Not the hardest game on earth. It's nice to play a game where you can just get pretty far and fly around and see the scenery. I don't really like that one. I like this one less. Come on. Those little guys there suck. Oh, I died. Alright, well, let's wrap this up. So a few years later, what is the story with the FC-88? Well, it's still standing. The video output does not appear to really work anymore. I do have equipment that can record PAL, so that isn't the problem. None of my recording equipment and none of my monitors would work with it, although I do recall having problems with it during the original review of the product. So, can't really say whether maybe it's just being finicky or whether it doesn't work, but I would just call it not working. That said, I think I originally paid 50 or 60 bucks for it, and it's still running. I mean, it still runs games. I've never had a problem with any Famicom game that it could not run. That said, I don't know if you could run something like Duck Hunt or something like that with it. Obviously, the gun wouldn't work with the screen, but I don't know if you were able to hook it up to a screen, whether that would work or not. Maybe, maybe not. So you might not want to buy this if you want gun games. But that said, minus a little bit of discoloration and the problems with video out, if you just want a handheld game player, this is still really the most legitimate way to do so with real Famicom games. So all in all, I'm happy with it. I'm glad I bought it. It gets a thumbs up even though it has some pretty significant problems, and the battery life is pretty much crap. I mean, a couple hours, maybe 3 tops. Anyway, there we go. A few years later, still here, still running, and not completely broken, which is better than I ever expected. I want to thank you very much for watching this. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by thumbs upping and commenting down below. I'll see you in a couple days. Bye!